a bit of a change of scenery from your usual start to the video. Usually it's straight in the gym and straight to working out, with a little bit of jibber jabber, but not a lot. Just wanted to go over my daily routine. What is my daily routine? How do I start my day? So I usually start the day by getting up out of bed. That is always a good start to the day. If you don't get out of bed, you're either dead, in a coma, or just lazy. Followed by a shower to eradicate any scent of BO. Breakfast, which is usually rice pudding with some blueberries and a protein shake. Once I've devoured that, I move on to checking my emails, my DMs, messages, etc. All of that digital mumbo jumbo. I run around my caravan and do all of the chores, and then lunch, which at this precise moment in time is sweet potato with 2 salmon fillets and some broccoli. At this point I've consumed about just over a litre of water. That morning routine is if I'm not working. If I am working, it's a different routine. It's get up at 4 in the morning, get to work by 5 in the morning, have breakfast and lunch on the go, followed by gym straight after. And just like my non-work days, I go to gym around the same time to keep things consistent, as I like routine, as opposed to just an absolute jumbled mess, which seems to throw all aspects of my life off. Anyway, I've got a green tea sat in front of me. It is decaffeinated, because, like I have said in the past, I don't consume caffeine. Caffeine affects my sleep, and gives me some gnarly visual migraines, followed by a lot of head pain, which is rather frustrating, considering when I was younger, I could consume a can of Monster in the morning, go to the gym, come back, have a quick black coffee, but then I look back at it and I realised my energy levels were very inconsistent, my sleep quality was shit, and although I had that caffeine rush, at the time it seemed worth it, but now it doesn't. Nowadays my energy levels are rather level, there's no ups and downs, it's just neutral, a straight line, which I prefer, even though I do miss those ups a little bit, but I most certainly don't miss those downs. What are we doing today at the gym? We are rehabbing my pectoral strain. And instead of going over it here, I'm just going to go over it now. And by now I mean in the gym. But if you would like for me to extend my chitter-chatter moments, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. As I do look at all of your suggestions, take them into account, and utilise them down the line. Time for some pectoral rehab. I feel like I haven't sat in the sun for a very long time. The weather has been atrocious over the last few months, and over the last couple of weeks it's been an absolute change. Oh, I should probably mention that one of my priorities in the morning is making a beeline for the light. I feel like since I've started doing that, my quality of sleep has improved, because I'm kind of falling more naturally into my circadian rhythm, not because it's some sort of wonder drug. The sound of my fountain going off in the background is making me feel rather relaxed. A tranquil moment in time, it most certainly is. And these sort of moments help me to become more present, to enjoy the current moment as opposed to thinking ahead or sometimes thinking backwards. Learning to enjoy the present moment is very important to really pull as much experience out of this short-lived life that we have. And whilst I do agree that life is the longest thing you will experience, life in the grand scheme of things is most certainly shorter than you think, which is why you've got to have a balance between experiencing the present moment, enjoying it as much as you can, especially when you start to think about the things like you have your health, family, friends, etc. It's very important to be very grateful and appreciative of those things in your life whilst you have them, because one day you won't, and that is just the harsh reality of it. So many of us are caught up with our thoughts and feelings, usually of which are ahead or behind ourselves, We always forget that what's in front of us is the most important thing at the end of the day. Anyway, I think it's time to go to the gym. We are back to benching after 2 weeks of no benching at all. And I've managed to work up to 80 kilos for 3 sets of 5 reps with mild discomfort, tightness, and a pinch of pain. And when I say pinch of pain, I don't mean pinching pain, I mean just a pinch of pain. Like a pinch of salt, a pinch of pain. It's sore, but that's to be expected. Anyway, I'm doing some back off sets. I've got 65 kilos loaded up. I'm going to do this for 2 to 3 sets of 15 reps. I've already done 1 set of 15 reps and it felt fine. Expectedly, my triceps are a little bit pumped, but that is because I'm doing close grip, just to reduce the amount of chest used. I'm going to build up my close grip bench press before I build up my normal bench press. That way it gives the pec a little bit more time and a little bit more space to breathe, as opposed to just going straight back to benching normally, which would potentially aggravate it if I misjudged how much I could bench in terms of like what weight should I work with for said reps. Rehabbing an injury, you are better off working with higher rep sets to get more blood into the area and to reduce the amount of load on the injured area. $80 kilos, I believe, is around 50% of my 1 rep max close grip bench press. But I thought, well, if I can kind of manipulate the reps to where I'm doing a slow eccentric and a somewhat fast concentric, and I'm saying somewhat because if I just start bashing out these quick eccentric reps, I'm going to aggravate the pec injury again. So somewhat speedy reps with heavier weight, lower reps. That way I'm not putting too much strain with the heavier weights, and then with the lower weights we could do more reps without putting as much strain on it. So I'm having a mixture between strength and power and endurance and stability, you know, blood flow. That's my theory anyway. So yeah, I'm going to get on with doing 2 sets of this for 15 reps, and let me know what you think about my approach, because after this we've got a couple of rehab exercises that I want to do. I don't know why I said 15, I meant 12. Another set of that, 65 kilos for 12 reps. And then I'm going to move on to some more rehabilitation exercises. What we want to do is not aggravate the pec. So far, so good. Can I say that whilst I am doing this for my rehabilitation, because I know what sort of pec injury I have, you should not do this unless you know what your pec injury is as well. Also, if your physio tells you to do one thing, which contradicts what I am doing, do that thing. Don't do what I am doing. The chest fly is not what my physio prescribed me. I prescribed the chest fly to myself. Why? Very lightweight. I managed to go to the maximum range of motion in terms of the fly because I could handle it. There is no pain or discomfort when I do so. I have a weight loaded up on the machine that allows me to go for the full range of motion from maximum stretch to maximum squeeze with no pain, discomfort or tightness. Well, there is a little bit of tightness to be expected. The reason I am doing this is to stretch all of the fibers out. I want to gain as much mobility back in the pec as possible, and a chest fly is one of the best ways to do it. Again, this is not prescribed to me by my physio. I have prescribed this to myself for that reason, to stretch the chest, gain my mobility back. I'm doing this for 3 sets of 15 repetitions. I have 27 kilos loaded up. Next week, I'm just going to bump it up a pin. Same with the bench press. Next week, instead of doing 3 sets of 5 with 80 kilos, I'm probably going to do 3 sets of 5 with either 85 or 90 kilos. However, I am going to be doing an additional bench day, whether that be spotto or floor press, just so I can load it up a bit more. The idea is to gradually implement bench back into my program, whilst preventing myself from aggravating my pec injury. You have to be so damn smart about things like this, because if you aggravate a pec injuries are stubborn as fuck. So I gently get myself ready, and all reps are controlled. It is a slow concentric with a squeeze and a slow eccentric with a stretch. Even coming back into the seat, I am being careful, maybe overly cautious, but I would rather be overly cautious than stupid. If you have a pec injury, I don't recommend just dropping the last rep. I recommend bringing it back to a dead stop and then easing your way out of the machine. Don't do what I just did. That was stupid. Now for some dumbbell overhead press to work on, of course, the shoulder. Now, the shoulder is a major stabilizer of the bench press. I shouldn't be doing this, the rehabilitation process to simply get back to benching. The shoulder in general is a stabilizer of any chest movement. So if you're pushing something, then your shoulders are also going to get involved, which is why I'm going to do the dumbbell overhead press. I will also be doing a day separate from today, which is a shoulder and arm day, where I do the dumbbell overhead press like I would focus on the bench press, because I can overhead press a fair bit of weight with no problem at the minute. However, obviously, I can't be overhead pressing 140 kilos for reps like I can with a bench. But it's definitely a goal. I kind of want to make that my main focus, to take my mind off the fact that I can't bench heavy at the minute. So even though I can't bench heavy at the minute, I can overhead press heavy. You see, you've got to try and find the best of both worlds, or the in-between, the thing that's going to allow you to stay motivated, and that will be the overhead press. I'm going to focus on building up my overhead press until I can start benching horse loads of weight again. Anyway, I've got the 20 kilo dumbbells. I've just done this for a set of 12. 10 or 12? No, it was 12. 12 is a good rep range to start with. Next week we could start dipping our toe and using heavier weights. But for now, for the first week of rehab, I think 20 kilos for 12 reps is a good baseline to work with, a good start to the foundation that we can lay a house upon. To be fair, I think 10 reps is a good middle ground. I was going to do the additional 2 reps, but I feel like 10 reps is plenty in terms of working on building the shoulder as a stabilizer and strengthening the shoulder in general. Now, you could say, well, it would probably be a bit more beneficial to work around the 6 to 8 rep mark if you wanted to strengthen the area. Yes. But because I have a pector, it's all about finding the middle ground again. If I start to overload too much, this still puts a little bit of strain on my pec. I might end up aggravating you know what I'm trying to say. if I start overloading these exercises, because they are stabilizers, they will also get the chest involved, ironically, as a stabilizer. So it's funny, isn't it? You can't really win. But yeah, you know, for the barbell overhead press, I can work with heavier weights for some strange reason, even though the chest is technically a stabilizer when doing the overhead press. It is funny how it works. Oh, it makes me giggle, makes me chuckle, makes me laugh a little, which is what I need right now. And I don't even know why that makes me laugh, it just does. I think it's because it's ironic. Now I'm finishing off with external rotations with a diddly little 2.5 kilo weight plate, but that is plenty because I tried the 5 kilos and that was way too much for what I want to get out of it. This is about rehab, not horse cocking. I have done my 3 sets of 6, which is prescribed to me. Well, no, it's 2 sets of 6. I did 3. I'll show you what it is, but I won't do a full set of it, full round. I did do some cable rows, some tricep pull downs, and I was going to do face pulls, but I already do those on my back day. And I did cut the cable row short because that is again something I do on my back day. I need to revise my main pec injury rehab day and then kind of try and work that around everything else I do throughout the week, as well as an additional pec injury rehab day, which will be something like a spotto press or floor press, or something I can load a bit more, probably a floor press. This is either the end of the video. I will be posting tomorrow. Tomorrow is a paused squat focused day, or I might do my deadlift focused day. I don't know, probably my paused squat / hamstring focused leg day instead of my deadlift / back focused day. I think that'd just work a bit more because I did back not so long ago anyway. But yeah, this is what it looks like.